He's at the podium right now talking to the media.
Darvin, I guess let's start with the last sequence. LeBron gets loose and gets a really good look, and then just take me through what you saw from there.
Well, they came down and they wanted to get their two best players into action, which they did, and Jamal Murray hit a tough shot. AD fading away the baseline to his right. AD outstretched arm, great contest. Kid hit a tough shot.
You guys now 2 games in a row offensively in the second half. They've turned up. They've gone to a different place defensively. What weren't you guys able to get to against their adjustments, and what needs to change moving forwards for you guys second half?
Once we watch the game, we'll figure that out. Again, we played a solid basketball game defensively through 3 quarters. That's a tough team. Like you gotta come with it. You can't take any possession off. Ball gets knocked around, falls into Michael Porter Jr.'s hands. He hits a big 3 for them. So we got to be on deck at all times versus this ball club. Offensively, we got some good stuff. Bron had it going. D'Lo had it going from 3. We'll be better from this. Definitely be better from it. But they did what they were supposed to do. They held serve. Again, it's not the first to 1, 2, or 3. It's the first to 4. We just got to go home and do the same, starting with game 3.
Darvin, this was about obviously as heartbreaking of a loss as you can kind of have with the buzzer beater. You've been on the other side of that, I'm sure, other times in your career. What's the key to bouncing back in the next 72 hours and kind of just wiping the slate with this one?
Making it about the work and knowing that you still have abundance of life. You still have an abundance of life. But we got to make it about the work and keep it about the work. It's tough. Some tough calls, some tough non-calls. But, you can't use any of that as an excuse. You got to go out there and be ready to make plays, whether the whistle gets blown or not. It's getting real tricky. Go through the season, games being officiated one way, and then you get in the playoffs, and then it's like, I guess it's left to the interpretation of the 3 individual guys that's doing the job out there. But all that said, you just have to know that, it stings. Remember this feeling as we take it back home to L.A., and we got to give them that same feeling in game 3. We can't. That needs to be the sole focus. Recovery process has to start now as filling our cups back up. But game 3, it's all about game 3 right now.
Darvin, AD had the 14 straight makes on Jokic. They switched the coverage and had Gordon on him. And then he got in foul trouble and couldn't defend Jokic one-on-one as much. When that changed, what were you trying to see and what were you trying to get to So AD guarding Jokic, right, wasn't able to as much with the foul trouble late, and then they switched the matchup to put Gordon on him after he was scoring so easily on Jokic.
Yeah, they're just trying to, I feel like Aaron Gordon is their best defender, along with KCP, but especially along the front line. So, they did what we did. We wanted to put AD on him to start the game, and as much as possible. He wasn't allowed to. Anyway, so I can see that was their course of action in terms of putting Gordon on him.
As much as this game stings, how helpful was it to see D'Lo have the game that he had, making 7 threes and getting out the slump he's been in against this specific team over the past year or so?
Well, I mean, he did exactly what I thought he'd do. He had a tough shooting night game 1. He went back to the drawing board, put his work in, came out firing away tonight. It's a tough one to come up on the short end of the stick because of that performance that he had beyond 3-point line. But it's playoff basketball, man. You separate yourself by doing it over and over and over again.
Then AD, you having to sub him out because he had the foul trouble. Where do you think the offense has shifted for you guys? When you had the 68-48 lead, there was a lot of flow, and then from there, even in the fourth, a lot of the stuff you got was kind of individual play from LeBron, individual play from AR, that baseline. Like, what was Denver doing to get into your offense at that point?
I mean, we were trying to take advantage of certain matchups and bring certain guys within their defense to put them into action. Sometimes when you do that, it works out smooth. Sometimes, you don't finish the play. And by that, I mean, we get the matchup that we want, they have to double team or something. Someone is left open, miss an open shot or miss a point blank layup. Things like that happen. So you just got to try to weather that storm. But one thing about it, we just got to continue to make the right plays and make quick decisions. I can't hear you.
Gut-wrenching loss. In the next 2 days before the next game Thursday, do you feel you are going to be as much a between-the-ears guy to your team with your experience as X's and O's? Because you can point to 17 different things in a one-point game.
Well, it was a point where we had full control of the game, and we can't forget that. And we just got to finish. We did a good job initiating, we did a good job of sustaining, but we didn't finish well. So the biggest thing for us is to finish, and again, the intangible things, taking care of the ball, being great defensive transition and keeping them off the offensive glass. We just got to keep pounding that, but still go back home with a belief that, they still have to win one on our floor if they at all possibly can. And so for me, the focus is, as much as this one hurts and stings, my mind's always flipping to the next thing. What's in front of us now? And what's in front of us is game 3. And we come out and compete, get the type of defensive effort we did in that first half, majority of that third quarter, we'll be okay. We just got to fine-tune some things as we go down the stretch in the fourth quarter.
Darvin, taking the 20-point lead early in the third, you feel like a lot of the adjustments that you made worked, and those are things that you can now apply into game 3 and moving forward?
Absolutely. I mean, you can't have a remedy for foul trouble. It limits your player, takes all the aggression away. It is what it is. But, this is done. It's in the books. So now, again, we start the process of preparing for game 3, and we just got to come focused.
Just comeback victory in a playoff game. They get the win over the Lakers. Here is head coach Michael Malone for the Nuggets.
Yeah, I mean, it was, first off, just going to be more proud of our team. Give the Lakers a lot of credit. They played great tonight. And I think we're at 5 to go. They're up by 8. And we closed out a 20-10 run, I believe. And for those that have been following us for a long time, that's Jamal Murray right there. I mean, he can struggle, he can struggle, he can struggle. He sees one go in, and he's never shying away from the moment, the spotlight, and that was just an incredible play. They were smart late. They put LeBron on him. They put AD on Nikola so they could switch, and he got to his spot. And it was great because everybody on the team, coaches, players, all night long kept on telling Jamal to stay with it. Stay with it. We know what you're capable of. We need you. And for him to go 6 of 8 in the fourth quarter and score 14 points was amazing. And, I called the timeout, the possession before we